Congratulations on your new deal. How did all this come about?
Thank you. Well, this year, last year I only did Supercross. This year I only had a Supercross deal only. Ivy Corp Racing was nice enough to let me use the bikes for the first 3 rounds. And after the first round, I think, I got Christina's number and I sent her a text just to consider me if they ever have a fill-in spot. And then it all came about like this Wednesday. And yeah, so we got it all together. I rode the bike at press day yesterday for the first time, and here we are.
How big of a difference is it from your Ivy Corp bike? Because that thing was a monster too.
Yeah, no, our Ivy Corp bike, it was really fast. Thanks to Twisted Development, they do the motors, they do a great job. Suspension's basically the same. I run Enzo, and they run Enzo as well. So the change hasn't really been that much, like a little bit of motor differences, not necessarily one's faster than the other, it's just different.
And yeah, kind of not the best track to figure out a difference here.
Yeah, it's hard to compare also because we're at altitude here. But it's been great so far. The bike's not, like I said, not that much different, so that's a good thing. I was able to, get pretty comfortable pretty quick.
So through the Ivy Corp deal for the last few years, you've really gotten much better as a Supercross rider.
Yeah.
But like you said, not doing these outdoor races, have you felt like that's been kind of a detriment to your career, or is it now your chance to come out here and show on really good equipment what you can do?
Yeah, it's definitely hurt, I think, a little bit, because in 2016 I only did 2 Supercross races and a few outdoors, which is the year when I went pro. And then last year I had a problem with my visa there through the middle of the season. So I lost almost the whole season. I ended up doing, I think, 4 Supercross races, and then I didn't do any outdoors at all. So I raced 4 times in the whole year, and then back into Supercross I struggled a lot at the beginning of the year. Got better as it went by, and was able to finish it stronger than I started it. And I rode outdoor a couple times, and I'm like, okay, I want to try to race it, but obviously it's pretty stacked. There's not many rides out there. So after Vegas, I talked to the big bosses at Ivy Corp, said if I could borrow the bikes for the first 3 rounds to see how it goes. And like I said, I haven't done any outdoors since 2016, so I didn't know where I was going to be stacked. We didn't do any testing, or very minimum testing. So yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised at first of how good I was doing, but now I want a lot more.
Through those last few Supercross races and then those first 2 nationals, you've shown a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Is there any one contributing factor, or is it just more time on the bike?
I think a little bit of everything. Also a lot more self-confidence, you know? When you don't race that much, you get there and you don't really feel like you belong out there. When you keep racing, you're like, all right, I can go as fast as these guys. Then it gets better. And yeah, I was able to finish Supercross season stronger. I got a top 10 at Salt Lake City, and then I won the LCQ in Vegas. Didn't do very well at the main, but it was definitely a lot better than we started. And yeah, I've been able to carry that a little bit through the outdoors.
Hey, one thing that I've always wondered when guys from South America come up, how hard is that for you guys to develop your skills down here to come up here? Like, to go from down there where you're probably the fastest guy in the country, or one of 3, and then come here and just be another of the 40 guys in the 250 class. That's a big difference.
Yeah, well, it's gnarly. You know, you grow up and you get used to winning and being the first in practice and the first in racing and always fighting to be first. And you come out here and you're like 15th. So it's definitely different. The sport's way more advanced here. Unfortunately, we have really big import taxes where a brand new bike would be over 20 grand just off the shelf, and we use US American dollars, so there's no money exchange there. So the sport keeps shrinking. There's no Supercross at all, so that's all brand new when you come to America. We don't have any Supercross tracks at all. No whoops, no doubles are allowed, no rollers are allowed, so it's a lot different.
But you've developed into quite a good rider. What do you accredit that to?
Yeah, just keep trying, I think, because when I first started I wasn't doing that hot, so it's just a thing. It's a process. You gotta trust the process. You gotta learn every weekend, and more importantly, pay attention to what those guys are doing that you're not. Just study a lot. It's almost like school. It's so crazy. Like, watch videos and races. They're like, okay, they're doing this. This is their body position. This is their line choice. This is how they change throughout the moto. So just learning that, it's literally like going to school back again, taking notes, watching videos. So I think that's helped a lot.